All right, we're on. Are we
Timo
good?
Sullivan, thank you for joining me, brother.
Mate, the full Steak Lad experience has just been is in the works. I love it.
It's a good little pre-podcast preparation. For context, we do a sauna, we do an ice bath, and we eat some steak.
Had some steak. I'm ready to go. I feel great. I feel really good.
It's been a while since I've actually done one like this, to be honest.
Yeah, the whole shebang.
We're filming in December, and a lot of people are busy at the moment, so...
For sure. Mate,
Most people
I
have just
cleared the
been
deck
going.
for this because
I
I
appreciate it,
not
man.
only am I excited to catch up with you, eat a steak, talk a bit deeper, which I am really, really excited about, but just the whole ice bath, sauna, the whole shebang, it's good. You know, it could easily be at the pub in the sun, but I'd much rather sort of do something for myself, a bit more often than I do.
Beautiful, man. On the topic of getting deeper, let's get straight into it, I reckon.
Yeah, come on, bring it on. You've done your homework. You've called people I know,
I love
which
it.
I love, which is gold. So I'm a little bit, here we go.
I found a quote you said probably a few years ago on LinkedIn.
Oh, wow.
I went deep on the LinkedIn.
Holy shit, yeah. Sorry, can we swear? Yeah.
Of course. And it said, I think it's important to peel back the layers and discuss the hard shit that comes with it all.
Nice. That's good.
Does that bring you back?
A little bit. I can picture when I talk about the hard moments of Bae Juice, there's a few little places I can picture myself where I was at those times, which is kind of cool. So that reminded me of a little spare room that I had in a tiny little shack that me and Sumin were living in Moonee Ponds a while ago. And yeah, that sort of clicked just then straight away.
Is there a part of your story or what you went through to get to where you are now that you think doesn't get enough attention?
I've actually been saying this a bit lately. It's quite funny that people that meet me in the last 12 months, they see this crazy, energetic, charisma, person full of charisma and no worries in the world because everything's all good. But if you knew me 3 years ago, I was doing 60 hours at a cafe, Monday to Saturday, 6 days a week with my old man. And that's when I discovered the Korean pear and Bae Juice and everything that was coming with that. And then I was doing that on top of all that. Then doing, being in a relationship, giant family, still loved ripping the lid off and having big blowouts and drinking and partying. I was 24, 25. That's when you're peaking sometimes. So, yeah, people that know me now never saw that work ethic. So they just think I'm just this chiller, couple of meetings a week, jump on a potty, go have a nice dinner, and they sort of see that side of me, but they didn't see the chaos that came with running two businesses. And mind you, running a cafe with my brother, my dad, and my mum. And then I'm running Bae Juice with my best friend and my girlfriend at the time. Everyone says, don't get into business with your family, don't get into business with your partner, or don't get into business with your best friend. I'm doing all three across two. Like, that's mayhem. And it was easy as shit, to a degree. It's been pretty easy. But, yeah, that's one side I think people don't see, or new people in my life maybe don't connect me with, is that, psychotic work ethic that came with getting to where the cafe is now and Bae Juice is.
How would you describe yourself before you started either of those businesses?
It was wild. I look back on it a bit like, I'd probably put a few good people in my corner through a fair bit of shit.
Such as?
Oh, just the partying and it's been a little bit wild and not having any responsibilities and being pretty selfish for sure. But I always just went with the wind. Like as soon as school finished, I put myself under zero pressure. I think it is a reflection of where I am now mentally and how I go about things. But I never put myself under any pressure. The minute school finished, I got like 39 in VC and I was like, thank fuck that's over. The biggest overwhelming weight was completely officially off my shoulders. It was done. All that garbage that was school is finished. I traveled for a bit. I partied heaps. I met different people. I just went with the wind and I didn't give a shit about anything. And it was beautiful.
I was going to say, do you see
it
that
was
as
amazing.
a good thing? Yeah.
It was the best thing ever. Everyone's freaking out about uni. Oh, when should I do this gap year? Everyone's stressing about scores, career, just everything. Anything you could stress about, people were stressing about. And I was just like, oh, how am I going to get the next, $100 in my bank account so I can go out again in the next couple of nights? That was as far as my stress went. and I could just see people breaking around me. And I think that put me in really good stead for when I finally found my calling, which was hospitality first, at the ripe age of maybe 22-ish, 23. I can't even remember. I'm not very good at connecting the dots with age and what I was doing. And then that's when everyone crumbled from university. So I'd finally found my thing at 24. Let's call it 24. Absolutely humming, loving every minute of hospitality, then finding Bae Juice. And then a lot of people that I know that were freaking out and stressing were bailing after 5 years of university, starting to go out all the time. Where I got out of my system. Like, that's how I see it. I went and blew the lid off, got it all out, and then I was like, time to knuckle down and sort of grow up a bit. Whereas I feel like everyone was trying to be an adult at 18 with their whole lives figured out, and then at 25 it all crumbled. So I did that whole reverse cycle, and it's something that I'd love to speak about more, promote more, so people don't freak out straight away. I did link up with a mate from primary school. We hadn't spoken in 15 years. He reached out going, hey, mate, I just did 7 years at uni. I hate it. I'm watching you gallivant around the world, having the greatest time of your life. I'd love to link up. I'm trying to do some consulting for younger kids as well. And, you know, coming from me studying for 7 years, then joining the army, from you not studying for a minute and finding, and founding and running 2 businesses, I think would be a great pair to try to work with some younger people to say, hey, you don't need to have it all figured out. So we started that a little bit, but then we were both too busy and it didn't take off. But I've always had that mindset of preaching to how I went about it. Not that that's for everyone, obviously. But yeah, that was a pretty long answer to not, the minute school finished was just no pressure and amazing.
Would you describe that as being self-aware at that age? Because there's not many kids that are like, I was stressed about BCE.
Yeah.
And when you look back on it, you're like,
had a feeling you would have been actually. Yeah.
What a joke that was. But like, what was different to your mindset, especially given what you went through? And this is obviously, you would have been at St. Bernard's in year 12.
Finished at St. Bernard's in year 12.
Why were you not stressed?
Definitely. What was the word you used?
Self-aware.
Self-aware. I think so. I've always been a bit of a person like everything will just work out.
Yeah.
And not like, someone's going to come and save me or mum and daddy will solve it. None of that sort of stuff. But I've always been pretty good at, thinking everything will work out. I am a big overthinker. Massively.
What does that look like?
But overthinking the little things more than the big things, which is quite funny. So I think you stress about 100 mini things. So when something big comes up, you're like, I'm stressed out enough. Who cares? Which is kind of ironic. Very ironic, actually. But no, I think I've just gone with the wind. And I think watching people freak out so much around me helped make me be calm because I don't want to be like that. So unfortunately, people's suffering made me at ease.
I like to go back to Instagram, to the early days of someone's personal Instagram.
Wow.
And I did not expect what I saw. I can tell you that much.
Go on. Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna take you through some
photos,
hilarious. Some photos that
me and Liam in a suit, double parked alcohol.
You're drinking beers here again. You're
smoking dart. I used to love a dart. I used to love ciggies.
Drinking multiple beers here. You're drinking beers. And
just selfies of smoking and beers. Man, that is funny.
So I went back there and like I said, I didn't expect it, but at the same time, it didn't shock me. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I think you summarised that pretty well.
Where was your headspace at that time in your life?
Just being a loose cannon, being the life of the party. I loved it. Yeah. My Instagram handle still is Timmy Too Many. My mum asked me to change it once a year, saying it's a bad, representation of you now.
What did that represent? Just too many beers?
Yeah, too many beers, having one too many. Okay. I was always, like my brother's 2 or 3 years older than me. I feel like I was the first person to smoke weed, do a line, go outside and party and sneak out. I feel like I was the baby of the fam, but I feel like I was always jumping at all that stuff pretty early. Like 16, smoking some weed, in the park before school. Just zero fucks, really. I remember doing had my first pill at the end of at age 16 on New Year's Eve, that sort of stuff. You know what I mean? Like I was just yes, done. Let's do it. Let's try it. Why not? You know what I mean? Could be dead tomorrow. Let's go on. Let's have a crack. So I was always pretty adventurous. and didn't really care, but I just had a lot of fun doing it all. Like I've never been like a grim drinker or drug user. I just have a ball.
I was about to ask, were you happy?
Oh, I have so much fun doing it. But there's also the phase where, so like when you wake up hungover or you're coming down a little bit, you look back at the night and you go, why do I feel so shit? And you're like, because those last 3 or 4 hours I wasn't having fun. So now when I like wake up after a monster, the hangover and the come down is not too bad because I know when to stop. When it's, you're around the kitchen for too long trying to solve life's problems, that's when I usually bail. So I feel like, I know we're talking about youth and all that, but I've just always just had a lot of fun. Been around good energy people, had a barrel of laughs, wake up with a sore tummy because I was just pissing myself all night. And yeah, it might have been around the drink and like having big nights, but yeah, I think it comes down to me not taking myself too seriously or, seeing it as too big of an issue, but yeah.
I remember you saying you were partying from like Thursday till like Sunday.
Oh, once school finished, it was just on. Yeah. But like going to bed and sleeping, not like, like didn't Ben cousin it.
Yeah.
But no, just going out, you're done, backing it up, meeting the crew again. Someone's having beers around the pool at someone's house. Done, I'll be over. Let's go out to this club tonight. Done, let's go. The next day, there's an event on. Done, let's go.
Were you discontent at that time? Like, did it get to a point where you were like, shit, I can't do this forever?
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. Even like this week, I've drank like 4 times this week.
Yeah.
But I balanced it out with some seriously healthy moments. But I'm constantly like a little roller coaster just pinging around going, I'm just going to not drink for a month or drinking's fun. Who cares? It's December. Let's just drink every day. It's like the endless, ongoing battles with that sort of stuff, which is kind of ironic. But yeah.
I just think keeping it real is best. I still have massive nights, make a shitload of mistakes, get grumpy and watch Love Island. But I think for my businesses and career, when I need to switch on, I always can. And I think that comes with ownership and being accountable.
Nice.
What does that mean to you?
You
obviously wrote it.
Yeah. There's one superpower I have. It is just clicking into gear. For sure. I could be coming off 2 hours sleep and having an investor meeting or maybe bad example. Just have a big night, have a big retail meeting, pitching the product in, and I'm just there. I'm present. I speak as if I am, any other day. I can really just suck it up for that, few hours. I think that comes with hospitality as well. You're just knackered, but you got to go there and give everyone your complete best, especially when it's your venue, it's your food, your items. So whether I'm tired, hungover, grumpy, whatever it is, I think I'm pretty old school with, you leave your problems at the door. It's very hard now because someone might, be going through some mental health issues and stuff like that, whether it's staff, across any business. It's very difficult to say, just leave your problems at the door. Very difficult. So I, just try to lead by example on that one for sure. But I think I can always click into gear. I've sort of lost my train of thought a little bit, but
You can read the quote again if you want.
Go.
I just think keeping it real is best. I still have massive nights, make a shitload of mistakes, get grumpy and watch Love Island. I think for my businesses and career, when I need to switch it on, I always can. And I think that comes with ownership and being accountable.
Yeah. So I think that makes me come down to we've always laughed about the Mark Wahlberg approach. You don't need to do that to run a successful business. You don't need to get up at 3:30, train, have 80 bananas, ride around the city 4 times on a bike. You don't need to do all that stuff to have some form of success. Success for me is having a balance, which I'm still working out. But I think still having that nice balance of going out, getting stuff done, running the business with your friends or your family is very enjoyable. Still trying to get some good sleep. That's what's important to me. But yeah, I like it. The Mark Wahlberg approach is sort of just, we've actually used that a fair few times, me and Liam, when we explain it. So you don't need to be a madman to run a good couple of businesses.
You spoke about leaving the problems at the doors. Has that ever been an issue for you? Like when I asked that question because I had someone on yesterday and he said, because he's a commentator.
Yeah.
He speaks about like how hard it is to actually show up and present if you're having a bad day.
Yeah.
Like, was it like it's not a bottling up thing for you potentially, but was there ever a point in time where it really was hard to show up?
No, I don't think so. Not really. I find that quite easy. And I think that comes not just with the accountability of the business, but I've made my parents extremely proud with my efforts at the cafe, going from sort of having not much to them rolling the dice, saying, let's get a cafe, give Tim a bit of purpose. So I get excited to impress everyone and prove everyone, I've got it. So there's that side of things. And then, when you're working with a life partner and a best mate as well, you want to show up for them. You want to make it all happen. So there's always been those things that have help you show up. But also, if I'm having a bad day and I've got an 8-hour shift at the cafe, I can't wait to get in there, because there's a lot of moments in hospitality that really make me quite giddy and shivery, because you're like, wow, like my energy just made that person's day, and it took 4 minutes. It took a little bit of effort, and that person's now better off having come to the cafe and having experienced 4 minutes with me and a conversation. So bang, I'm back. If you're having a shit day, that gets you back. I had the shittest day ever on Wednesday. Lost my keys. It was just a nightmare of a day. I got locked out. Spent $150 on Ubers. It was just a nightmare. And then I went and volunteered in the city at the Big Umbrella Group, and it's just serving homeless people or people struggling economically, financially. And you're just serving them food, loudspeaker on board, just putting food on plates, making people feel good. I went home, I'm like, oh, who cares? Who cares about my keys? Fuck it, I'll figure it out. And putting good energy out in the world, they did turn up the next day. So I felt like I deserved that. But, those little things I think I got quite aware of early, that, hey, that is a good thing to do when you are feeling shit, is to go work your bum off, put some good effort into people. And then once I sort of got a really nice high out of that first few times, I saw that as a release or a solution to feeling crap, rather than being like, oh, there's days you're walking on, oh, I can't be bothered. But once you're there, or once I'm there, I'm usually pretty good.
Do you think you were doubted from a young age?
Definitely. I always had the loudness factor.
Yeah.
I was always loud, and people always laugh. I actually played with the Calder Cannons for 2 years. People piss themselves. Yeah. They're like, what do you mean? I'm like, well, I played rep footy or centre half forward. Yeah. Calder Cannons called me out. I was in the Simon Madden squad. There's photos of me in all the outfits. I played down at Windy Hill against Oakley Chargers and all that sort of stuff. People always get a little giggle out of that. So I still was a bit naughty and cheeky, but I still loved my sport. Still had, quite a wide sort of friendship group. So I never think people wrote me off. But once I started getting, the connotation of being loose, then it was a bit of the eye roll. Oh, here we go, that kind of vibe. But I don't think anyone really ripped me off. But I did get expelled from school, which we can touch on. That wasn't my finest hour. And that was when really people were really just like, sort of put a bit of a dirty, image on me.
Do you think that helped you?
Massively. It was the best thing ever. Fuck Xavier. I was at Xavier College before that. People are very proud Xaverians out there, which is fine. Every each to their own. But I think it's a bit meh.
Your old man said you knew you didn't belong there.
Yeah, 100%. No way. And that's not just from my thinking. It wasn't the greatest place for sort of the high energy, creative sort, thinking outside the box kind of person. I always explain the two schools in this way. And excuse me if I use some bad ways to stereotype people, but it does have a nice little twist at the end. But I'll try not to do it then.
No,
but you got your Aussies, your Italians, you got your nerds and your jocks all at Xavier, completely separate. No one hung out. You sort of didn't really know each other. And I was there from year 5 to year 10 and a half. So it might have changed once everyone sort of got closer to adulthood. But from my experience there, everyone was completely segregated. You got popular kids, you know what I mean? It was really segregated. Yeah. And then I moved to St. Bernard's. Day one, you've got the Italians, the Aussies, you've got all the jocks and all the nerds. The Italians are like, oh, he skips. What are you doing tonight? You going out? And like, yeah. And like, oh, shut up, Wog. Let's go. And like, done, cool. I'll see you later. And then done. We would all have pre-drinks together, all groups. So the jocks are there that don't drink, just drinking soda. You know what I mean? Then, everyone's just mingling and molding. And that's when I was like, wow, how sick is this? What a great realization for me. And not many people get that realization because they don't get expelled from school and get thrown somewhere else. So that was really cool for me going, oh, how cool is this? So then all of a sudden I had a wide range of friends. I was much more accepting of everyone rather than going, oh, look at this fuckwit, Instead of that, I'm like, look at this guy. Sure, he's all right, you know what I mean? But I do think people are very quick to judge people these days for sure. But I think some of those experiences going through a few different schools and having different friends and different groups and different events and then still hanging out with some Xavier guys, it was really cool to experience that. Like I got to have 2 layers of friends now rather than one, which is cool.
Now, getting expelled from high school wasn't my finest moment, that's for sure. But it always drove me to be successful once people put a line through my name for accomplishing anything in life.
There's definitely, it's not super dramatic, the line through my name, but it was definitely going, of course he did, bit of a write-off, definitely amongst more the Xavier side of things. Come Essendon side, no one gave a shit. But more, the high-end, image people were like, ooh, like he's definitely not going to make anything of himself for sure. It was a big deal. It was on Channel 7, 9 and 10, me getting expelled. It was on every paper. I know some Xavier students and friends took it quite poorly that I ran, the school's name through the mud. When I was like, who gives a fuck? Personally. So it was quite funny. But some people took it quite poorly. But then the hardest thing was the selfie side of it. Then my brother's going through VCE, doing all of his SACs and all of his exams, and everyone's asking him a million questions. So I really felt really bad for Ben. On the train, in the yard, what happened to Tim? What's going on? Is he expelled? Where is he? What school is he going to? As if he wants to talk about all that shit. He's trying to get through the last 2 months after halfway through the year, literally got 2 months left really in year 12. He's trying to get through that. He doesn't give a shit about, well, he doesn't not give a shit, but the last thing you'd want to deal with is all my crap.
Sounds like you weren't afraid to make mistakes.
What's that?
You weren't afraid to make mistakes.
No, not really, but like to get caught stealing shit.
Yeah.
It's not something that, you're too proud of or you'd see as a life lesson. But like it was obviously, but I was just stealing shit at the end of the day. There's no way to glorify it. Stealing shit.
You talked about the high energy before as well. I asked the question to your old man yesterday whether the high energy environment is sort of a face, and you probably answered it before, a face first, because I talked about I spoke to him and I'm like, do you reckon he forgets about himself in an attempt to please others? And he wasn't 100% sure how to answer that.
Interesting. My ex-girlfriend definitely thought I was a people pleaser and too busy out there trying to make everyone happy, which was great feedback. I was like, fuck, true actually. Thinking about half the things that I was running around doing in my downtime. Yeah, interesting.
Where do you think you get energy from by helping others?
The energy just comes in so many ways. To talk about lately, like I'm just in the bathroom, just dancing, pumping music in the morning or night. Whether I've had a big night, a healthy day, a huge day, 15-hour day, I'm just absolutely gunning for it. Like I was just looking before because I knew you would speak about energy and I knew this would be one way to wrap it up. The smallest amount of steps I've done this week is 22,000 on Tuesday. I did 28,000 on Wednesday. I did 26,000 yesterday. I'd done 9,000 before I got here at 10 o'clock, 10:30.
What are you doing? Just
walking the dog, running, going up to the cafe, whipping up the laptop, heading over to mum and dad's, just popping in, going hi, walking back. I'm just everywhere. Walking to the tram. I've been catching public transport, loving it. I'm like one of the few people just with my headphones in, just knocking my head back and forward, listening to my music in my own space, looking out the window, just being super present, being like, how good's this? And everyone's sitting there on their phones, just depressed on a train. And I'm sitting there just like jamming out to my music, jamming. How many I said that? Just rocking out to whatever I'm listening to. And it'll be jazz, techno, rap. There's no flow of what I'm listening to. So I've just got there's just this wave at the moment in me. And it's from work being in a good place. You know what? It's actually been from me being able to say no a lot lately as well, especially to going out. So last night I was super excited about, this chat. I was getting free beers at my mate's pub and I just ghosted, just disappeared, walked home, got some fish and chips, and me and Marge watched some TV. This is my dog. And then the night before that, I've met an amazing girl. We've been sort of seeing each other for a month. I was out and about drinking and I was just like, oh, here we go. I'm on, I'm ready to just have another 10 drinks. I was like, no, actually, we've got a nice morning plan tomorrow. I'm going to pull a pin on it. I went home. So I'm definitely getting some extra energy, not only from the self-restraint that I'm showing, but also I'm feeling better from that restraint, and now I've got more energy from it. So it's kind of the win, it's like a personal little win mentally, but it's also the win for the health. And then all of a sudden, I'm bouncing around even more than I bounce around. It just seems to be never ending. And then my parents being super proud of me at the moment from doing some volunteer work. But my mum's extremely reassuring person. And I think I'm an extremely reassuring person. Well, I'm learning now from being in different relationships and having people in my life. They tell me how reassuring I am. I just do it so easily. I'll tell people exactly how I feel. I'll tell someone they look beautiful. Tell someone I love your hat. I just naturally do it. But I woke up the other day and my mum messaged me. She goes, "Hey Tim, I've been really tired lately, but I really wanted to send you this message. It makes me so happy that you're so happy at the moment. I can really feel it. And the only thing a mother wants is their child to be happy. So I love you. Have a great day." And you're like, fucking hell. Like, how lucky am I, A, to get that? But then B, I think, I do connect it with me then bouncing out of bed. You know what I mean? Like, so being surrounded by some really good people, me having some really good, growth moments in some places I've struggled with, I think is just a big cocktail of new energy. Which is crazy, right?
Yeah, I was going to say, was there a time that you didn't think it would work out and the energy wasn't at high? Because it sounds like you sort of had that approach even in the early days.
Yeah,
It's
definitely.
going to work out.
Yeah. I've spoken on a podcast recently that hasn't aired, so you wouldn't have seen this. And it was just me going, never doubted Bae Juice for a second.
Yeah.
Not one inkling. Not when we were, 300K in debt. Not when the ACCC's messaged us saying, you guys, you cannot use this on your packaging. Not when every barcode was completely wrong and me and Liam sat in a freezer room for 4 hours re-stickering, shivering barcodes. Not for a second. Wow. It was just, this juice is got good margins. It works for me for the last 6 years. I drink it all the time. It's well priced. No one else has got it. The brand's great. We are completely authentic as founders. Nothing's going to go wrong. This is just going to go to the moon. We're going to sell it for $50 or $100 million. No other giant beverage conglomerates got this on their portfolio. We have this that they should want on their portfolio. We're on. So I've never worried for a second. I was bagging myself before. I'm living paycheck to paycheck, like easily. Like I'm falling short in rent half the time. Just with life being expensive and I've been going away and I've still been trying to enjoy myself. I'd rather have a couple of nicer dinners than, have an extra $500 in my account at the end of the month. So just sort of enjoy my life. And even then when you're like, fuck, I'm at my wit's end financially. I don't have $1 in savings. I've never have. I can't just go to Europe and save up like other people do with some pretty sturdy jobs. But oh well, it's all good. It's going to work out. Never in doubt, So you have the little moments going, oh, what if? Or other people definitely are living differently. But it just never changes my attitude that this is going to just go to the moon.
That's interesting. I think,
and from a young age.
Yeah. Well, I think there'd be so many people out there that would see you and your success, and they would just immediately say, "This guy would be living the dream."
Oh, mate. There was a stage when I was living in, I moved to Burleigh. I get cold feet.
Yeah.
Oh, cold feet? No, I just get ants in my pants. So I just took off to Burleigh. And when I was there, I was hanging out. I had a bit of a younger crew because I was just there, just to go and enjoy myself. And I'd always get past the bill because I own Bae Juice, right? And the people at the table were doing 50 hours a week on Saturday, Sunday rates at the Tropping and Burleigh. So they'll be clearing $1,200 a week. Yeah. These guys are making serious coin doing hospo. Yeah. And here I am on $3,000 a month paying Burleigh rent during the after pandemic when every person in the world had moved there. Oh, it was brutal. I had to say at one stage, like, guys, Face ID, this is my account. And it looks like this quite frequently. And they're like, oh, shit, sorry, man. We'll get this one. I'm like, thank you.
Yeah,
so it is quite funny. And the Daily Mail's like, barista, blah, 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 score $1.5 million Woolies deal. All of a sudden, people popping up out of nowhere that, you haven't spoken to in a while. So it's quite funny. I laugh at it, but it is quite funny.
Would you say that's a side of things that people, because I asked the question at the start, is there something that doesn't get touched on enough?
Yeah, definitely. The financial sacrifice, definitely. Yeah. That's a good point, actually. That's definitely something worth, adding to that category. And I sort of use the Europe example, you know what I mean? Like since 24, not having, a steady wage, I'm 30, I've never had, been able to save 20 grand to go away to do the Europe trip for 3 months. I've been incredibly lucky to launch the business overseas. So I've been to America 4 times in 2 years. So lucky. I'm so grateful for that. But, it's nice. That's a bit of hard work paying off. But, yeah, I've never been able to save up for Europe, go and take off and just unwind for 3-4 months, which I feel like most people I know have. Really. I couldn't think of anyone that I know that hasn't.
Are you seeking that?
Not yet. I'll do it once I've had a big payday and I'll go do it properly. And I'll go, and you know what? I'll go disappear. Maybe not. I say that in a funny way now, but I would just get on a plane and just get out of here once once I see some dollars and I've had a good payday. That's my plan.
I feel like I don't. I feel like I resonate with that.
Yeah.
And I've been asked to go on a podcast recently and I was like, I don't feel like I feel like I'm not. I don't not deserve it, but like it's almost like that with the trip.
Yeah.
I feel like I've got more of a story to tell.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I feel like I've got more things to achieve before I get off and relax way more.
Yeah, for sure. And then imagine how content you're going to be over there as well. Yeah. Whereas if I was to go away for 3 months now, I'd be thinking of new business ideas. I'd be sitting on social media trying to clip things up. My brain would just be going stir crazy rather than taking in what could be the most beautiful places in the entire world. I'll be going a million miles fucking hour still. So I'd rather just wait until I'm in a nice content place. And like I mentioned before, a lot of people go away to just go and party half the time as well. So I've done that, which is fine. So next time I go, maybe it will be far more enjoyable and just a more soul-seeking experience. I don't know, but I feel like I can sleep on the floor. So I'm not going to, go and just lux it up. I feel like I could go and slum it somewhere and have a bit of fun and be that crazy person. But the time will come. I feel 30 and thriving, so I don't feel like I'm running out of time. I feel the opposite. But I know everyone's different in that space.
You spoke about the contentment piece before. Where would you think you are emotionally then is that content financially? Or
yes.
It's just,
okay. When it comes to travel, yes. Okay. Definitely.
Yeah.
Just can't afford it now, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So I'd have to be quite financially in a good spot to really go and soak it all up and just get so much of it done rather than just wither away for a year, get one pocket done, and then wither away for another year, then do another pocket of travel, which again, fine, and sometimes it's the only solution. But for me, I'm going a different direction with it.
The first few months, I felt like I was waiting for everything to just happen, but it takes hard work, not luck.
There's a really good founder that told us a bit of advice. We were asking him for all the shortcuts, saying, how can we get into this many stores? How can we get here faster? How do we get this article? And he's like, well, I'll help you if you show you can do the hard work first. But I'm not going to give you all the answers straight away. You prove to me out of the back of your own car and with your own voice, you can go get 50 to 100 stores, then I'll help you. If you want help with PR, go and hit up people, cold message them for a couple of days straight. If you don't get a few emails, then I can help you. But you will get the result. A month later, me and Liam had 50 stores. We had our first Daily Mail article, broadsheet, urban list, and that was for me cold calling people on LinkedIn. They loved our story. We got all of our PR coverage and we got 50 stores. I didn't even follow up him to ask him for any more help. I was like, we're on a roll. Sick, right? How good's that? From, not only his advice, but something for me to learn now as well. And then here I am 5 years later from that moment and people asking me, how do I get here? Can you just send me like 60 IGAs just to get me started? And nah, like go and do the work. Like you'll learn about it. You'll get, thicker skin from the nose. It'll all just help you so much more anyway. It's not me being a prick going, nah. But like, it's just from my own experiences being in your position 4 years ago, just trust me, just go and do it on your own. So I think that's what I grabbed out of that little quote then for sure.
What's the advice for someone that's perhaps just started an endeavor, and it doesn't have to be in your sector, just about any sector, and they're putting themselves out there, and there is that overwhelming feeling of self-doubt perhaps.
Yeah.
What would your advice be for them?
The self-doubt factor. I do feel like if you do the time, like it will come off. Me and Liam stopped at the start. We were a bit lazy in the first couple of years and nothing happened. So let's say the first year, real chill, chipping away. It'll come off. In a few months, it'll take off. There you go, back to the quote. And it didn't. It was slow. Nothing was really happening. And then all of a sudden, we start doing 50 hours each and the business was humming. So the proof was just in the pudding for us, really. And even now, if we have a slow week, we're lucky the business is, got six years of brand equity. But I feel like when we take the foot off the pedal now a little bit, you feel it, like online and through sales and all that sort of stuff. So I think it's just, definitely doing the time, but I feel like it's a little bit cliche. I'm trying to think of something else that would really stick. I don't know. One thing we've always done, but I don't know whether it be self-doubt, but trial and error has been our biggest thing. And it's cost us fucking hundreds of thousands of dollars in the error bit, but it's also probably made us millions of dollars because we've landed big accounts on risk. We've said yes to working with creators and agencies that we couldn't afford, but we'll just figure the money out later. And then, we end up, something hit. So we're always rewarded a lot for our risks and our efforts, which was quite reassuring for us going, we didn't get bulletproof or feel like we're invincible. There's a little bit of it. There was a stage where we feel like not untouchable, but we were just going ham, going $15,000 for this agency, done. Yep, sign up for 2 months, done. We had $5,000 in the account. Figure it out later. Cool. What's this? Yep, done. We were just trigger happy, going pum, pum, pum. Like, yep, done. Yep. It was scary. It was stressful, and we didn't have much, sales coming in. But like I was saying, a few things hit. And that was all it took. And then all of a sudden we've got all these articles getting written about our story. We did $20,000 in 2 hours online because the Daily Mail article hit because we said yes to this expensive agency. So just shit like that. It is sort of a bit cowboy-y, but lots of trial and error as well. We sort of seem to pull off.
How important to making mistakes?
Oh, big, because when people, and this might even be in your catalogue, what would you do differently? Oh, not much.
That's not.
Yeah. Oh, good.
Someone said in maybe 6, I asked that question, and from then on, I haven't.
Yeah, it's I nothing because it's gotten to where I am now, and I know where I need to go next. If the business had completely bankrupt, failed, and we're having a podcast about businesses that had failed, then it might be a good question. But we're on this crazy trajectory, like. Why would I want anything to be different? Maybe spend a few, less dollars here and there. But what was the question again? Because that was a good segue though. At that point.
Oh, sorry. Mistakes.
Yes. Yeah. So
it's hard when you're in the zone.
Yeah. We've done them all. Financially, always pings because we just spend so much money on things you don't need to. But now. Well, here you go. This is the irony of, spending so much money when you need to making mistakes. Now we're at a stage where the business is as lean as it's ever been. And we're doing the most revenue we've ever done. So, you don't just magically get there. That's for sure. Now we've got fractional CFOs. We've got forecast teams that are connected with our sales team. So there's all this synergy across everything. And our sales have never been better. Spending less on marketing, getting more sales. Happy bloody days, right? It's the whole fucking mission. But it's taken so long to get there. And that was from all the mistakes. But it's beautiful to think that, you do end up landing, in a pretty good spot from it all, essentially. So, mistakes in relationships, mistakes in, laziness, mistakes in all sorts of things. Yeah, have definitely sort of led me to a nice sort of space at 30 years old.
What's been the most unexpected part of it all?
Wow, maybe just at this moment being this happy,
Really?
which is pretty wild. I didn't think I would. I hoped I'd be in a nice office, which we are. We've got a fucking sick 3-story office with a big fat rooftop. Sure, we do. And then just my health, the people I have around me.
When you say health, so
I'm the healthiest I've ever been, I reckon.
There was a time where...
I was a dad bod, drinking, smashing vapes, having big weeknights. Dad bod, I love that. It's so good. But I was just sloppy, and just unhealthy. I looked pale, had really dark circles under my eyes. I was sending someone the other day some old photos, and they're like, "Fuck, like that's 3 years ago. You look way worse than you do now." It's like, I know I look meant to look worse 3 years later. You know what I mean, kind of thing. So, definitely health and happiness. And what's been amazing is like, who doesn't want some validation, right? People keep telling me how healthy I look constantly. 2 people yesterday morning at the cafe, just older customers. I had a couple of staff members say it at the cafe. My mum saying it. My sister said it the other day. Who else? Someone who works from the office said it the other day. Like, it's just been rinse and repeat going, fuck, you look really healthy, man. Bit of colour, bit more trimmed and leaner, and maybe just bouncing off walls as well helps. But sure, I've been getting the validation heaps, and it's really nice because I've been putting the work in and then getting people, giving me this feedback that I look great. Like I'm first to admit, it's nice to get told that. Like, people are probably thinking maybe, it's dangling under arrogant, but no, fuck that.
I agree.
Yeah, fuck that.
When
Sick.
people tell you you're looking good and you're in the zone. Once again, though, like sometimes, I don't know, you sound like you're pretty good at accepting compliments.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. But I guess because I've been doing the work.
Yeah.
If I got some big fake tits and people are like, nice tits, like, well, they cost me $7,000. I didn't do anything for them.
Yeah,
that's a terrible analogy, but I went with it.
Yeah.
But I've been doing the work through my business and then through my health. So maybe that's why it's a bit easy to take.
I say it with what I'm doing here, I'm like, people say I'm going good all the time though.
Yeah.
And it's like what I said before about the business. It's like, fuck, you must be.
Yeah, you're killing it. Yeah. How funny, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is quite ironic.
The great law of nature is that it never stops. There is no end. Just when you think you have successfully navigated one obstacle, another emerges. But that's what keeps life interesting. And as you're starting to see it, that's what creates opportunities.
I like it.
I read that the
That's
other
good.
day and I thought of you.
I like it. It actually reminds me of something that I said, when there's a tough time, I can remember where I was, the spare room in Moonee Ponds with Sumin. I had written on a whiteboard that stayed there for a long time, enjoy the hunt, not the kill. And that sort of made me think of that a little bit, like just because it's never ending. Yeah. Because a good friend of mine really got into my head being like, all right, you get $10 million at Bae Juice, what?
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know.
Have you thought about that?
Yeah, all the time. I think about the dollar value of what I'm going to exit at daily.
Really?
Oh, all the time in bed. I'm like, if I've got 39% of 10 million, but then what if I don't get taxed? Oh, but then if I sell it here, if we just get this next retailer, the US kicks off, we get 3 states. Maybe with 25 mil, I got 10-20% left. Do it all the time. Always running those numbers, but I don't know what I'm going to do with it at the end. And I love the hunt. I'm loving what we're doing. We're trying to get some new major retailers at the moment. And me and Liam are bouncing around, thinking of new strategies, getting this. We're doing new products next year. That's the fun stuff, right? Plus, I can roll in at 9 o'clock in the morning to the office and I can leave at 2 and go to the gym. Or on Monday, I took Monday off. I was with a beautiful girl down in Rybe, down at the beach, having a nice little day with the dog, cruising, had lunch. That was my Monday. I was like, I'm taking Monday off. What's not to love about all that? Spending time with, A girl I really like down the beach on a Monday. Me and Liam can go and take Wednesday off and go play golf in the afternoon. But we do all that. When we switch on, we switch on. So why am I so worried about the exit? And I had a life coach for a good year, which we can touch on plenty as well. And he used the P word a lot, and that was being present. And I think that's a moment that's a word that's really clicking with me at the moment. When I told you I was looking out the train window, rocking out to my music, going, how good's this? I was present as fuck. Going, the sun's out, on the train, sick music, feeling good. I was super present. And it's something I'm starting to do a lot more. Just take a moment to just be present. Like I was at the beach going, isn't this amazing? With an amazing person at the beach. It's Monday. I was present. Me and Liam playing 9 holes, at 2:30 in the afternoon, having a couple of great northerns. And I was like, how good's this? I worked my ass off for it, but make sure I'm present now. Why do I care about the 20 mil at the end? What the fuck? You know what I mean? And there's an even more amazing thing. My old housemate in Burleigh, Abby, she was the most free-spirited person I've ever met. I think about her all the time when I'm, in my free-spirited moments with other people that just aren't like me, because she was quite similar. And every time we were at our brokest, we noticed that we were our complete happiest.
Where sorry?
Whenever we were our brokest, like financially. Yeah. Whenever we had $0 in our account, we were at our happiest.
Really?
We would scrounge together some money, we'd get a slab, we'd go watch the sunset down on Burleigh Main Beach. Marge would be running around in the water. We'd have our arm around each other, pissing ourselves, having a laugh, smashing beers, going, how funny is this? I don't have $1. She's like, me too. And me and her were like, and we had this moment together so frequently, being like, the brokest we ever are is always when we're our happiest. So why am I chasing $20 million then? Isn't it funny? Like, I still don't know the answers, but these are the thoughts that I have quite frequently, being like, not what am I doing? Like, it's fine. Like, financial success and getting that maybe is just more like a medal at the end, but it's just with a number saying, I achieved this, rather than wanting to purchase fancy shit. You know what I mean? But so it's funny, right? It's crazy.
With that in mind, do you think the hunt will end then?
It's hard to imagine, because I love thinking of ideas and working with other brands and other people. So I could never do, this is interesting, I could never do Bae Juice again. And that's bootstrap, no money, 5 years, sampling, suiting up, trying to manage. That's a once in a lifetime brand build and business that you do. And it should only ever be a once in a lifetime thing, because my Rolodex, my experiences and my business knowledge through everything I've achieved should put me in a position where I don't ever have to do that again. That's the whole purpose, right? I should have learnt enough and gotten spat out at the end where I'll never need to do all that madness ever again. So I think the hunt will never end, but I think I'll be doing it more from a higher level angle is what I'm hoping anyway. But you can't do what we've done twice. A destroyer.
How do you think you've matured as a person over time?
Matured?
Or have you matured?
In ways, definitely. I want to be a better family member. I spend a lot more time with my mum and my dad. I call my mum because I know she's exhausted. She works her ass off. She's 68. She cleaned 32 motel rooms the other day by herself in 35-degree heat. 32 rooms she did. Vacuumed, bleached, made the beds, everything. She's a workhorse. She's a fucking weapon. But knowing that, I was like, oh, she must be tired. So I called her going, is there anything I can do for you tonight? What are you doing for dinner? What are you doing tomorrow? Is there anything I can do in the morning to help? And she's like, nah, all good. I'm just going to go and pass out. I was like, great, nice. But, I just want to be a better son. I was telling my cousins that are just flown in from England today that I've got a really great relationship with my sister at the moment. She's 43. I'll just guess. I'm not very good with ages with my family members. She's got 3 boys under 10. And we just have a really great relationship at the moment. Bouncing around on socials. We text each other a bit more, have a vent to each other. I try to go down to Geelong where she lives a bit more. That's quite new. And she's got 3 boys under 10. One of them's a bit mischievous, a little bit like me. So I was like, how can I help? And he loves me, looks up to me. He asked if he could get pink hair when I got pink hair. So he definitely likes me. So I'm like, how can I, encourage him to be, a bit more a better person? So, this is how I'm thinking and operating a little bit more just lately. So I think that's maturing as a person for sure. Not trying to use the word, going back into energy too much, but I was like, I have so much energy, I should be putting it out to better shit. Hence the volunteering. I'm doing another bit of volunteering that I've signed up for, just waiting to get some clearance on. Had to get a police check, so hopefully that's all good. Fuck. Stay tuned. But I'm trying to be a bit more of a better person, which I'm really enjoying doing, and I'm finding not too difficult or strenuous. I feel like that's giving me more energy. Fuck, here you go. See, it all just goes full circle, doesn't it? And just, timing's everything as well. So the timing of my business, the timing of me wanting to do all this, the timing of meeting someone cool at the moment. Everything just seems to be in the right place.
What's motivated you to be a better person?
Understanding myself better, understanding my energy.
How long has that taken?
Well, because I used to use my energy to go out for a couple of days rather than, help people for a couple of days. But yeah, I think I've just matured as a business owner, especially as well. Business owner, a friend. I can still be a painful friend for Liam, most likely, because I was just so bouncing around all the time. But everything seems to have just found its place a little bit, all together, all nicely, which is really nice. But like being high energy and a really busy thinker, it takes a lot of work. It's tiring. But I work really hard on myself, and I work really hard on trying to be better, and like rolling in and being the high energy guy. Like sort of like take a few minutes. I'm like, all right, go, and then I'm back into it. You know what I mean? Like, but it's not a fake version of myself. It's just a version I know that's a really good version of myself that gives off some good shit. So yeah, I could blabber on here. I'm going in circles, but it's good.
Do you think your younger self would be shocked? Not shocked, but did you think he would expect you'd be where you are now?
Maybe, man. Like, isn't that weird?
Yeah.
Isn't it weird to be completely different 10 years ago, but to not be surprised where I've landed?
Yeah.
That's weird. That's funny.
I asked someone that the other day. Are you surprised with where I am, where you are? And he said no.
It's funny, isn't it?
Yeah.
To think about, I was just having benders, stealing shit, getting expelled, going with the wind for years and years. I lived in Vietnam for a year doing weird shit. And then here I am, Port Melbourne, having a steak with you, talking about my business journey in my life. Like, what the fuck? It's cool. I love it.
It's interesting. I had a question on the tip of my tongue there about, like, I'm trying to think where I wanted to go with the question, but looking back on it all, like, and you asked not to ask, would you have done anything differently? But like, is there an element of like, would proud be the right word?
Looking back on everything?
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. I'm a big storyteller. I end up in the strangest places, not just in general, but also I am just a beacon for junkies. I don't know what it is. They just love me. So like every time I exit the house, something happens to me. Something. I'll lose my keys. I'll be on an empty train. A junkie will come sit next to me and have a yarn with me for ages, and he turns out to be a great bloke, and I shout him a coffee. Or I'll be on the streets and everyone says hello to me. I'm like, oh, good morning. I say good morning to everyone, but people are starting to say good morning to me first now. So it's just this it's just crazy. So I have so many stories and so many things happen to me. Like in the course of a week, I'd have 50 stories for someone. So, on date nights, I'm just sitting there yapping away on stories and what's happened today. And, the person I've been seeing lately is just like, what the hell? You've lived 3 or 4 lives. I lived in Ho Chi Minh launching music festivals for a year at the age of 20 with a guy I'd met for 2 weeks, and he paid for my entire trip. A year I was there. I was just all these crazy things. I moved to Burleigh, I put my dog in the car and, my blanket, and fucking took off. And I moved in with 3 strangers from Warragul that were 5 years younger than me. And, I was on the beach doing acid and finding new versions of myself. Then I'm back at the cafe doing 60 hours a week and loving that. And then I'm launching Bae Juice. I opened a Korean restaurant with, strangers. I've I just don't know how I get into these scenarios, but like I'm just let's do it, let's go for it. Do it for the plot. Someone said to me recently, I thought it was so funny. I was like, should I do it? And they're like, yeah, do it for the plot. I'm like, I do things knowing there'll be a good story come out of it. But I could honestly tell you 15 other examples of like, whoa, you'd be happy with a couple of them in your lifetime, let alone the last 12 months. So I've just had this crazy busy life, just putting out all this weird aura that I seem to have and attract. And so it's been an awesome life. It's been sick. You kidding? I was in New Zealand stealing shit, getting, arrested by New Zealand police in my school uniform. Like, fuck, how many people can say that? Not that it was the finest moment, but it's crazy, man. Like, there's just been so many moments in my life, you look back, you're like, fuck, did that even happen? Relationships along the way, crazy one-night stands, like just shit you just couldn't make up. You could not make up some of the shit. So I look back on it all and I'm like, how cool. How cool I've just gone, just full tilt, full steam ahead. Well, what could go wrong? So it's pretty wild, right?
I was going to say, it sounds like you're happy with the way you are.
Oh, 100%. And someone told me that recently, saying that it made them feel happier as well, which was really important. So then it's not that I'm happy with myself. It's my contentness with, life and, not having to be ashamed or embarrassed by anything about myself can make other people happy. Fucking biggest tick of all time. What more could you want in giving out energy, knowing that energy makes other people happy and feel better? You just can't beat that. And then that amplifies my energy more knowing that now. And now I'm on another level.
Do people open up to you more as a result, do you think?
It's insane. People tell me everything.
Yeah.
Everything, man. Like, it's crazy. I was making a coffee like a couple of years ago. And I was like, hey, how are you? How's your morning been? She's like, good. I'm like, you're in the area. Like, great to have you in. Love you, Sonny. Just doing my usual, daily pump up. It's like, yeah, thanks. No, I really appreciate it. Yeah, I've just moved to the area. It's a nice area. Yeah, my husband just killed himself recently. And, so that the area really reminded me of him. I was like, oh, all right, sorry about that. She goes, no, it's all good. Yeah, no, it's all good. Great cafe you got there. And I was like, what the fuck? Next day comes along, someone else tells me about someone cheating on him and stuff. I'm like, I'm just a barista. Don't you find that crazy? So I think early on I just knew, people just told me just crazy things. So I don't know what it is, but yeah, I just seem to be that guy that people just tell stuff with and feel comfortable with. And it's nice to know that, I can give that out to the world, which is cool.
Someone asked me the other day, because of what I do, like you get told a lot of eye-opening stories.
Yeah, for sure.
Stuff. And it's like you sort of bottle it all up and there's obviously a lot of positive, but there's obviously a lot of hardship. And
yeah, totally.
Like, do you see a negative to that? It was interesting. I got thinking. And I mean, at the end of the day, it's good that people feel comfortable.
Yes, yeah.
But at the same time, it's like... things coming here, things coming there. You're dealing with your own stuff.
And you're getting two different versions of people, not two versions of people, you're getting two different people in their whole lifestyle and journey. You're right, that's pretty full on.
Yeah, I like that people are challenging the way that I think.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, that's important.
Do you have that in your life as well?
Definitely. I feel like not as much lately.
Yeah. Why do you think that is?
I'm not sure. Maybe it's because I'm just in good areas, so I'm not questioning things as much. Or I'm not sure.
What did life look like when you were questioning things?
Tiring, less sleep.
You spoke about being overthinker and it being tiring.
I was definitely one of those people that stand in the shower going, "Why did I say that to her?" 2 years ago.
Really?
Oh, for a while.
I actually do that, man.
Yeah. Was it intrusive thoughts as well? Do you ever think like, what if I just punch that pregnant lady on the train over there? Do you ever think that?
Yeah.
Or like, what if I just take the car off the bridge? Like how long will what will the hang time be, you reckon?
Yeah.
It's just like, it's not dark or like demony. Yeah. I dived into it with someone. So it's just intrusive thoughts, pretty natural. Yeah. I dived into it with a psychologist. I saw a couple over different time to try and learn a bit more about myself.
Talk to me about that. You said the life coach before. Yeah.
So but before the life coach, I saw a psychologist. And just the poor guy had no ears at the end. I just chewed the fuck of him. I just got in there and had the microphone. I don't even reckon I let him reply.
Was that like you were just more so, I think you said before, you just wanted to understand yourself more.
Yeah, I've been really, there was a period once me and Sumin broke up after sort of 5 years. You know what I did? When me and Sumin broke up, I ran 5Ks every day for about 2 weeks. And everyone was just assuming I was just going to bend to the house down now that I finally didn't have a partner or someone to say, hey, where are you? Why aren't you home? Where are you? And I was like, you know what? Like, instead of like doing fucking gear and drinking and feeling like shit even more from a tough breakup, I'm just going to go and like absolutely do myself with some fucking endorphins and good energy and just go run. And I did that for a while. Then I started getting back into it all and having a bit of fun. But I can't remember why I brought that up. So psychologist wise. But then after all that, I was like, I'm single now. I've got a business. Living with my best mate. What's next? What's happening? What do I want? I've had some moments of like, do I want to keep doing Bae Juice sometimes? Like, as in like, just like it's not taxing, but just questioning like, do I want to keep doing this? And the answer was yes. But I just wanted to go and explore myself more, and I was really keen to. So I saw a guy a couple of times, unloaded on him, just spoke about, loving the party lifestyle, but loving when I don't. And there's been stages where I'm just so overstimulated from work and being healthy that I need something to numb me a little bit. Like not concerningly, maybe the word numb's wrong because it's you'd connect that with some bad shit. But I just needed something to just chill me out, and that was usually alcohol, which is I thought was a fine alternative. A couple of whiskeys at night, a few beers, a few reds, and then I was just like, "There's got to be another alternative," or like, it's just so overwhelming, this stimulation. And then it's concerning to think, being so healthy and on such a charge work-wise, ideas are coming, content, marketing, new concepts, new products, all of it was so overstimulating. It was fucked. So I went and spoke about that. He didn't really help too much, the psychologist. It was more just a platform to dump, which was fine. And then I really started, wanting to understand this energy more. I was sitting in like, say, a waiting room for just anything, just something very general. And I was sitting there thinking, there's no fucking way anyone here is thinking about the shit I'm thinking about and on the level I am. There might be 30 people there, young and old.
What was some of that stuff?
Oh, just work, life, relationships.
Yeah.
That exit sign's broken, like, I wouldn't have put the couches over there, or you know what I mean? Like sort of weighing up the waiting room. Same as when I go to a cafe, I'm like, music's terrible music, staff are poor, glasses aren't probably good. I wonder what coffee they got. Just bang, all that within a second.
About that stuff as well.
So I'm very hardcore like that. And then I was thinking but then I went from that to thinking there's no way anyone else is thinking on the level I am. No way. About brands, about life, about intrusive thoughts. I was just a million miles an hour. So I felt a little bit different, but in a good way. I was fine. I was always content with it. And then as I had that moment, someone messaged me on LinkedIn going, hey, Tim, love everything you're doing with Bae Juice. I'm trying to, maybe reach out to some more founder-based people. I do coaching, more life coaching. I'll teach you transcendental meditation. We'll do heaps of different other little lessons, and I'll give you some real great tips and tricks. And, we'll really sort of hone in on your energy. And I was like, you kid. Like literally the day I've gone, fuck, like what's going on here? This is too much. He pops up out of nowhere. Nico DiMartino, great man. And I was like, fuck it, all right, done. He told me the price of it. I was really bumming it then, couldn't afford it. But I'm like, you know what? If I really dive into this financially, then I'll really get the most out of it, because I'll be like, fuck, I want to. And I did. I jumped on this first call, 90-minute sessions once a week. The other guy, there was like 2 other people over 45. I was 28. And everyone, the first thing they did is congratulate me for coming on. They're like, it's amazing you're 28 years old and you're here wanting to better yourself mentally and everything else that's going to go through these sessions. It took us 40 in a midlife crisis to do it. You're peaking and you've decided to do it. So they gave me a congratulations straight away. I was like, oh, fuck, thanks. Happy to be here. And then bang, we did all the meditation. I started feeling amazing. And then the main thing we really dived into, and I speak to a lot of people in my circle about this, and I hope it helps them a little bit, and I want to speak about it more, but we'd close our eyes at the end of the session for 10 minutes, and he'd have a few different key pillars he'd talk to, and he goes, all right, what's one thing you're grateful about work-wise? And I'll close my eyes. Be like, oh, fuck, I'm pretty lucky that, the business is in a pretty good spot now. We're finally hitting our straps. It's amazing. So I was feeling really good about work. What's one thing you're grateful about relationships in your life? It doesn't have to be, a female partner or everything. I was like, me and Liam just moved into a new house. It's really awesome. It's great, cool. And then finally, what's one thing about, family that you're really grateful about? And then you're like, my parents have been on fire lately. I'm so lucky to have them. Everything they've been doing for me lately, help me front the bond for this new place. Not many people get that. So this is what I'm thinking about in the 10 minutes my eyes closed. And then we did that at the end of every session. Now I walking the dog, being like, how fucking amazing is that tree? How amazing is the weather? The weather's shit. But I'm like, but it's, the weather's the weather right now, so it's fine. And then I'll be walking down a main road and everyone's in the car looking miserable. I'm like, how lucky am I to be walking my dog right now, with fresh air while everyone else is in there. And all of a sudden I noticed I was just fucking grateful for everything. And I started beaming and then, I just started, being a lot happier and all these little things are making me, I was really grateful for. And it's definitely just sort of molded me into a better person. So literally just being, just doing these grateful sessions was what I got out of it. I'm not doing the meditation anymore. I spoke to Nico and he goes, mate, as long as you got something out of this session and it's that, holy shit, man. He's like, it's amazing. I have these little moments in a few little spots when I walk the dog every morning on the same route. I'm like, I've been grateful in this specific spot so many times. When I hit there, and automatically just grateful for a whole bunch of little things. Don't you think that's fucking mental? This specific corner, like in Essendon, I walk past. When I hit there, I see a tree and I'm usually listening to some of my favourite music and Margie sniffs the same spot and I stop like, oh yeah, how fucking good is everything? Like it's wild. And then you know what? People listening to this might think like, what a Fruit Loop, because I thought Nico was a bloody nut at the start. And now I'm jealous of Nico because he's just so happy and so grateful for everything. I'm like, how can I be more like him? At the start, I thought he was crazy. He's like, the fucking world's amazing. Oh, look at that fucking grass. That grass is so luscious. Isn't it amazing grass? You're like, what? Mate, you're crazy. Yeah, and now I'm like, fucking how good's that fucking grass? You know what I mean? But I'd rather be like that than, so over-analytical and, pessimistic about everything. I'm sitting there going, how fucking good is this? So it was a really amazing moment going from, to nice and full circle and wrap this up. Psychologist, curious about my energy. That didn't hit. Someone came up. I dived in head first and left a much better person from it. And we spoke about, the present word before. Another thing, just being present all the time was just crucial. Learning about chakras and stuff, which I couldn't really get my head around, but I was fascinated by it, all for it. So it was amazing. It was a really, really cool experience having gone through that, and I'm all the better for it.
I literally was going to ask, what are you grateful for? I didn't lie about what would you change. I didn't have that written down.
Yeah, nice.
But I do have what are you grateful for written down.
I'm very grateful for my family. I think when you get to 30, you've met lots of people. I've been in lots of different relationships, and everyone's gone through their own stuff. And it's just insane to think, the parents and, the family that I have around me, beyond grateful for that, knowing that some people don't have a family. Some people have an awful family. Some people have had some really traumatic, past. I've just been surrounded by love and support the entire time. So I'd never, ever take that for granted now that I'm matured as a person, knowing that people don't have that. So that's something that really clicks with me a lot more often than it used to. So definitely that. But just the people in my life. I've got a mate that would take a bullet for me. He's just as loyal as anything. That's Liam. I've got good friends around me. They're all good people. None of them are arseholes. They'll look after me. They'll check in with me. So definitely more of a people focus. Even just, just having, just recently having you female just around, even though it's been very short lived, we're going, all out here. She's been awesome. Just a whole new, breath of fresh air. And when it comes to energy wise, that matches my energy and that makes me appreciate my energy, makes me grateful for everything that I've got. So, just all these little things. And one thing Nico said that was really cool in our sessions, he's like, one thing that people aren't very good at understanding is people come and go. It's fine. But, people see it as a big dramatic thing. And I thought that was really cool. He goes, it's just another wave and flow in your life. Like people come and go. It's fine. You might have a friend for 5 years, but you might just change a bit and then you go in different directions. And I thought that was really cool. And I've had a few of them, you know, whether it's female partners coming and going, you know, that's just the natural wave and you change and that's okay. And then same as some mates, you know, I've had my loose mates in the past that, you know, I'm on a different direction now. It's not working. Now I've got a whole sort of new sort of blokey friendship group brewing at the moment. There's like 2 or 3 of us that have really clicked over the last 3 or 4 months. And they want to work and they want to better themselves. And then one of them's got me into running, one of them's got me to the gym, but we still have beers after. We just have a good balance. So now I found a new crew that shares the same balance as me. And that's great. And that's only in the last 2 months. I'm 30 years old making a new friendship group. Like fucking sick, right? So I think the grateful angles definitely always seems to be sort of around people, I think. So I'm very grateful for a lot of great people that I'm surrounded by.
I think I needed to hear that.
Yeah. Nice.
With everything I've got going on, it's like it's very hard for me to think that 6 or 7 months ago I was just someone that cut open a steak and put it on Instagram. Literally, that's all
a funny
happened.
sentence, isn't it?
Literally, that's all I did.
Yeah.
Or maybe a year
They look
ago.
good though.
Yeah, they were.
You
but
did it well though.
There was no like personality.
Yeah, got it.
It was just me. And with everything that's gone on since then, it's like it is hard for me to be grateful.
Yeah, there you go.
To be honest.
Yeah.
Just because it's moving so fast.
Yeah.
So I do feel like I need to hear that.
For sure. No, and I'm so glad because another person I was speaking to, you know, I was texting yesterday. I was trying to make sure that she was being grateful for some things in her life at the moment. And this is a really cool comment actually. She's like, oh, no, you know, she was not taking compliments too well, which is cute, nice. You know, there's people like that. She's like, oh yeah, but you know, you're the one. You know, I'm trying to get to where you are. You know, with your big fancy office and killing it. But I was like, what she does is she helps people every week. She's got 200 people she helps fitness wise, right? And I said, well, I'd rather help 200 people a week than have a fucking fancy office, which I think was quite a cool little texty chat moment as well. So. It's made me realize if I keep talking like I am now about gratitude, you're feeling more grateful about what you're doing. I know she did afterwards. She's like, true, actually, you know, 200 people making them, you know, their lives better each week. So now she's feeling a bit more grateful. I've been telling my mum and dad how grateful I am for everything lately. And they're amazing grandparents to all my nieces and nephews. So I feel like just talking about it a lot to people. It's not something that's like just a real bit of a pub chat or you just talk about. It's a bit of a funny one to just sort of like, hey, what are you grateful for? You know, it's a bit weird. But it's something I'm doing more and, you know, 2 or 3 people in my life and then now you included that are feeling more grateful and are soaking it up. So I'm like, how good's that?
Are you seeking different people in your life at the moment then, do you think?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. When I say different, like people who like think.
Yeah, the natural occurrence of it is kind of being kind of cool.
Not like disintegrate your whole current friendship group.
Yeah. But it naturally has happened, which I think is really, really cool. And on a business level, with that natural development as well, you know, Bae Juice was a product. Then I matured as an owner, and I was like, nah, it's a brand. You know, Bae Juice is a brand. And now my thought is Bae Juice is a lifestyle. And all the new product and content and, you know, all the marketing next year that we're about to put out is more of a lifestyle and healthy. So not only am I surrounded by people now that are matching my lifestyle, my business's natural progression is moving into my lifestyle as a business owner, which is crazy. So the whole business is being completely influenced by my behavior. So originally, you know, I was drinking piss every day, drinking fucking Bae Juice, being the hangover dudes, me and Liam, which was sick. But now me and Liam are exercising all the time. I'm running all the time. Liam's working out heaps. And now we want to put out more healthier products under our brand label. And now we're more of a lifestyle wellness brand. So I think it's so sick. Like this is our company, which just sells it. We just sell a juice, right? We sell a juice in a sachet. But, you know, like it's developing with our own lifestyles as the people behind it. And now we're putting out things that match that. Now we're meeting people that match that. So it's fucking blowing my mind a bit lately. Like genuinely, like it's really been blowing my mind that my business and my life is all, having this new movement and, like holistically together. It's just wild, man. It's just crazy to think about. And it's great to actually have a platform where I can talk about, because it's been like blowing my mind a bit lately. I've done about 10 videos to try and put something on LinkedIn to try and digest this, but they've all just been dribble and I've been going all over the shop. So
we'll clip this
up and maybe we can land on something finally.
You spoke to me on the phone a few weeks ago and you said that you think your content was evolving as well, away from that sort of heavy drinking approach. And I think you used the word puppets.
Yes, I did. Puppets and monkeys have been, I've been using the word lately. That was me and Liam were just, because we had the pink suits and the energy and the craziness, everyone was just going, hey, can you be here at this time and give out stock in your suits? Thanks. You're like, oh, okay. Like we've got, 4,000 stores and an import-export business technically, but sure, we'll come and stand out the front of your pop-up bar and give out 40 units in our suits for 3 hours and be there. So we were getting sort of thrown around a lot like that, and it's fine. That was the brand and the image that we were building of these high-energy people, and they wanted us there, which is nice. But we were just getting thrown around a lot like that. Be here, like, oh, here's a drink, you guys not drinking, you know what I mean? It was like midday at a golf day, and you're like, oh, we end up drinking and putting on a clinic, obviously, but it did start to make you think, we were just those guys. We're just those loose dudes. And like literally, like it'd be like, oh, here come the Bae Juice guys. Oh, like it literally was like that. Whether it sounds cringe or not, me re-saying it, but that's where it was landing and hitting. And then I was like, fuck, it was so much more than that. So much more. Like the content we're putting out are all our ideas. And there's big brands out there with a whole marketing department that would struggle to put 2 of them out a week. We're doing 3 or 4, with our own brains on a whiteboard with a team that we're working with. So, we're sort of staying clear of all the festivals and all the sponsorships and all that. And we just really want to put out really great content that connects with people. And it's trying to steer clear of just being the hangover guys. That's a big thing for us. Stepping away from being the hangover dudes is really high on my agenda at the moment. And I think we've taken a really great step in the right direction with it. Someone really clever, Hayley, told me recently, she goes, the only thing about changing the course of your brand values or what you're trying to put out is you still need to have the right to have a voice. So we can't just go from the hangover guys and overnight being like, hey, we are wellness people. You're like, fuck off. You've been drinking every day for the last 5 years, what it looks like on Instagram. You can't just tell me about wellness. I'm actually a nutritionist or a sports scientist. Who the fuck are you two dudes? So we are trying to create a voice ourselves through our own experiences and our own wellness journey. But I'm just the living, breathing image of what I see as Bae Juice. And that's, down the beach on Monday night, having 5 margaritas and then running, just short of 10Ks. It's, 8 o'clock in the morning. That's a balanced lifestyle. That's how you should be consuming our product, and that's how our product should be perceived, is you still get to enjoy those beautiful social moments, but with Bae Juice, you wake up, you're fresh out, and you can still, work on yourself. That's the mission. Whereas we're originally at like music festivals, everyone's munted, chewing their faces off, drinking our product. Yeah. And you're like, they're not going to have a good experience with this or remember it. So what's the point? So we're really moving into that space now. We sponsored some run clubs. A bloke called Joey from Trailer Fit does these amazing events down at Riva, 200 people, big, massive, high-intensity classes, and then they have a drink after. I'm like, perfect. That's so Bae Juice. Yeah, we'll sponsor that. Bang, let's do it. So we're really trying to balance our content and our vision, our missions. So it's just more of a Bae Juice lifestyle. It's just a beverage. It's just a drink. Go and have your date and a few wines. Go out with the boys and have 3 or 4 pints. Have a Bae Juice. Go to work in the morning. Have a Bae Juice. Go with the missus to brekkie in the morning and walk the river. It's just a lifestyle. So, and you know what? That simplifies what we're trying to put out. Let alone saying, hangovers, drinking and people complaining and everyone getting wasted. It just simplifies everything we're trying to achieve as well as, the new direction we want to take. So I'm really excited. That could be another reason for this new extra energy. Changing the course of what felt saturated and not us, but we're flogging a dead horse a bit. Now we've got new content ideas, new media opportunities because it's a bit more wellness focused than the dirty hangover connotation. So everything's, the doors are all open all over again. And now I can just go for it instead of sort of treading water in the same spot.
You're at the top of the scale, mate. Have you heard of the emotional guidance scale?
No, I don't think so.
Excitement's up the top.
Excitement? Oh, nice. Okay.
So it's like 22 emotions.
That's so funny.
Excitement, whatever. But contentment's at the bottom. Then it's like overwhelm, boredom, doubt, and then fear and depression, like down the bottom.
I'm looking forward to telling someone close to me that, because the other day they were like, do you want to go to the supermarket? I'm like, yes, I'd love to go to the supermarket with you. And they're like, okay. Yeah. So I think I tick the excitement factor.
For sure.
Yeah. Cool.
It's interesting how I asked you the question before about how you've evolved as a person, and it sounds like as you have evolved, the brand has also.
Yeah, that's the perfect summary.
Yeah.
That's what I've been missing. Thank you. And I find that really cool. And I think without knowing the high level brand marketers in the world that have accomplished the biggest things in branding, it's got to be the right recipe for a household brand and success. I think as a founder, brand, product, values, mission, and it all coming together and evolving. It sounds like it's the right thing. Sure, it is.
Everyone's jealous of what you got. No one's jealous how you got it.
Correct. Nice. That's good.
Banger, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a goodie.
I really appreciate your time today, mate.
Thank you.
Been a really good chat, and to think we only connected a few weeks ago and had an hour and a half chat here.
Wild.
Without many pauses. There was one from me there. But
yeah, we could be going for a lot longer too, I reckon.
We could keep going, man.
Oh, easily. But I really appreciate you building a platform that I can have this moment on. When you said to me that, we won't just be talking about Bae Juice, I was so excited. Not because I've spoken about it a lot, but, I feel like there's so much more to me as a person. And I like sharing things. I like, yapping away, because if one person connects with what I'm yapping on and feel better from it, then job done.
What's something that you think you could also share in addition to what we've spoken about today?
Oh, you put me on the spot here. I was just in my wrap-up mode.
No.
Oh, I'm not sure.
Why don't I read out a quote from...
Yep.
I saw this on your LinkedIn. I went down maybe 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
It said, since 2018, I've dreamt and told myself we'll be in every damn Murphy's across Australia. Next month in the middle of May, we'll be arranged in every store in the country. That
was a cool moment.
Yeah.
That was a very emotional, we did it moment. That we celebrated hard then. But can I do a sidebar from that? Was that the idea of it?
For sure.
Speaking of LinkedIn, do you know my bio? It's been my bio for 6 years.
Didn't look at it. My bad.
No. Sorry, not my bio. Just my little clip. Everyone has Tim's got a marketing background. Blah blah blah. It's in third person. Yeah. Mine is 0 degrees, 1,000 experiences.
Explain.
And I just came up with that. I'd never read it. It connected with me, and I've had so many people message me just randomly going, "Love that line." And I don't have a single degree. I didn't study nothing.
0 degrees,
but
1,000
all of the experiences I've had have built me to be a really good business owner. But nothing in a book has. All of that has just really driven me to be able to handle everything. From being in Vietnam, getting kicked up in the morning at 6 a.m. saying, let's go to work for my business partner that I was with there, to my mum doing 32 rooms in a 35 degrees. All these little experiences, all these moments in my life have been, I think have far more outweighed a high level degree, in my opinion. And hopefully when people read that makes them feel a bit better, going, you know what, true. So that's my little quote that I came up with, actually. I've never thought of that. That's
1,000 experiences.
Cool, right?
So true.
So that's something that I live and breathe by. Yeah.
It's impossible to not get a bit emotional when you look back over such a beautiful but rewarding journey as a founder, launching a product in a big world.
That's nice, isn't it? How long ago is this?
That was a while ago.
Wow, that's nice. I'm not bad with my words on the old LinkedIn. That was before ChatGPT. No,
Would
not
you
that I
use
that.
the word emotional still?
Definitely, because you threw everything at it, from time, money, broken relationships, everything, all of it at once. So definitely, it is emotional looking back, and even throughout it all, and the emotion and the excitement of a win, the emotion of massive problems happening. So Yeah, there's some good quotes. I like those. They're nice.
Good way to end it, brother.
For sure.
Appreciate your time.
No, thank you. It's been a cracker.
How do we support your little firm? No, your little firm. Your very big organisation. Let's just say that.
Yeah, so we're in every Dan's, Woolies, BWS. We just got an Ampol. If you could go there over those three, it would be amazing, people, because we need those sales to spike a bit. We've been authentic this far, fuck. So, head to stores. Make sure you drink water, eat food, and sleep. Otherwise, I will not reply to your complaint if you haven't done those three, which we have plenty of. Perfect. Thanks, mate. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much, man.
Done. Good sesh.
Really good. That was really good.
Really good.
Yeah. Feel good?
Yeah. The perfect D. I got out lots of things I was really hoping to today.
Perfect.
Really was hoping to.